Share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Stefania.
And make sure to just go back on mute. So this is the base of our training. We're going to do a quick introduction of the BACP team and then the ECM team. Then we're going to go over the ECM system training guide that you all will have access to. And I'm going to walk through the system. And then while walking through the system, we're going to go over manual entry in the system and data import into the system. We're going to review the templates for the data imports. And then once I'm done with that, I will show you how to run reports to make sure all your data is in the system. And then we're going to have an open discussion to ask any questions that you may have. And again, please go on mute. I have access to mute you, but I don't really have the time to be checking who's not on mute. So just make sure you go on mute during the training so there's no interruptions. If you have any questions, please ask your questions in the chat. And let me actually update this. Slideshow. So Paul, do you want to speak?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I trust you all can hear me fine.
Yes, I can.
Great. Well, thank you, Afanye, for convening this all-important meeting. As this first slide indicates, we're introducing the BACP team, which consists of myself. I'm the project coordinator for the MEDC program. My colleague, Sandra Musino, she is the project coordinator for the CBC program, as well as the COVID vaccine program. And our managing deputy commissioner, who may or may not join the call, his name is Ivan. Our data support team, or assets, information, and services team is Kenny Lynn. I'm not sure if he's on the call, but he's a data services administrator. And our ECM support team, Afanye, the technical support, as well as Nick, technical support. Thank you, Afanye.
Thank you, Paul. So we shall begin. And as I mentioned, we're going to cover the ECM training guide. So if you're a previous MBDC, you're already familiar. You should be familiar with this training guide if you're a new MDC, or if you just aren't familiar, or if you're a CBC. If you go into the system, you can actually download this guide. So you may have the previous one from last year, but we have made updates and added sections to this training guide. So we're going to update it in the system. So please re-download this training guide. And I'll share my screen and I'll show you the guide, and it's going to be very helpful. Everything we cover during this training will be in this PDF guide. Give me 1 second. Let me open that up. Stop sharing my screen real quick. Share again. So this is the ECM BACP training guide, and encompasses everything you need as an MBDC user or a CBC user. As you see here, the first thing you're going to see is the table of contents. What it contains is just a summary of the guide, our contact information for ECM, how to reach us, email or phone, expectations as a BACP ECM users, ECM deliverable templates for upload. And then we section them off because there's two ways to upload deliverables in ECM. There's a way to do it manually, which is actually going to the system and typing in your business and everything, the engagement, typing that into the system. Or you can do it with the templates, is the Excel data format. Whatever you prefer, at the end of the day, the data is going to be into the system. but it's just two methods for convenience sake. So I'm going to just skip to manual entry. And for manual entry, how this works is that you go to the business development page, and then you actually should look up your business because ECM already has integration with most of the businesses in Chicago, so you don't have to actually add it. So if you look it up, your business was likely going to be there. For example, in this example, we have Aldi's, right? So I looked up Aldi's, and this popped up, Aldi Inc. And you see there's 53 different locations here. So all I have to do is just pick the location I'm looking for. Or if you can't find the right location, just select anyone because they're the same company. And then once you actually are in there, you can add the new location that you may not have found. But for the most part, a lot of the business is already in here. And again, this is just a training guide. I'll actually go into the system after this, and I will show you how to do all of these. And then to add a business, let's say that you looked up your business and you couldn't find it for any reason. Maybe it's a new business. If you want to add a business into the system, you also go to the business development page on the business entities tab, and you just select add. And then here we'll just ask you for the business name and all that other information. And then the engagement log is where you're going to add your engagements. Some of you may have MBDC and a CBC contract. So when you actually click add, we're going to ask you, or is this engagement for MBDC or CBC? And then you will select either or. But most of you will have either MBDC or CBC, but only a few of you have both contracts or both programs. I'm going to just quickly go through this because I'm going to actually show you to you in the system as well. As you can see, the training guide contains all the information that you will need. So if there's anything that you didn't understand during this training, just review the training guide, and if you still don't understand, then reach out to us and we can assist you. And then here for the Excel data import in ECM, which I believe most of you guys, or most of the MUDCs from last year, this was your preferred way of uploading your deliverables. The first part, we basically just explained to you like tips and terminology, what drop downs mean, what the required fields are, what files are, what a pass versus fail is, what a duplicate is, what an ignore is. So I'm not gonna go through all of that, but you can always come here. If you don't understand anything in the system, you just use the training guide and review this. So to actually upload in the system, you would go to the data import page, and then you will just select upload, and then you would choose the file type business BACP, and then you can add a description. For example, you could put this is my Q1 deliverables or Q2 or whatever it is. And then you just select upload. And then while you're uploading, you will see that there's a process flow of the upload. The first process flow is that it's going to be uploaded completed. And then what ECM does is that the structure of your file needs to actually match what we provide. So for example, you actually have to download your templates from the system. You can't just choose any Excel file because these Excel files are hard coded to the T, where you have to have the exact same tabs, columns, the exact same information. So if you delete a column, it's not going to work. It's not going to pass the structure check. If you add a new tab, it's not going to pass the structure check. It needs to be exactly what's provided from ECM. All you should do is just add data into the template, but don't change the structure of the template. And to change the structure of the template again is to either add or delete a tab or a column. And also part of the structure check is that we're checking the naming convention of your file. The naming convention of your file needs to go through, it has to be OR code, your OR code. And we can go through OR codes during the latter portion of this. And then underscore your contract. So for example, is it place-based journalist? Is it innovation centers? Innovation specialist? Is it so on and so forth? And then underscore the dates. This would be the date you're uploading. So if you don't actually go through that naming convention, it's not going to pass the structure check either. And the validation check, all this does is that if it passes the structure check, now I'm just validating your data. If it passed the structure check, the validation check should pass as well. And then conversion, what this means is that I'm converting your data into ECM. And then here, this is the structure check failure. This is really important because most of our calls from BACP come from this. You're calling because you don't understand why your file failed, why there's any issues with your file. If you just read through this, you would just understand the reasons why your file could have possibly failed. And again, the reasons why is due to your naming convention and also changing the structure of your template. And you shouldn't be able to change the structure of your template because it's locked. But somehow, some way, some people do it. So it's locked, so you shouldn't be able to. But if you are able to, just don't do it. So again, the naming convention of the file needs to be OR code underscore template name and underscore month and day and year. And notice this file failed because I said it was just a generalist. This is no longer the name of generalist. It's place-based generalist. So if you even have generalist or anything of that nature that's not exactly place-based generalist, it's not going to succeed. And here we explain to you how to fix any failed rows. So what you see here where it says BACP with this number next to it, this means that you have 3 rows that failed for any reason. Most of the times why rows fail is due to ignoring required fields. So for example, if like business address is required and you just don't put that whole row will fail no matter what else you put in there. If you have any row that's not complete, is gonna any required field in a row that hasn't been completed is gonna fail. So you can complete that required field. When you upload, and so you go to file upload and you go to the BACP tab, and on this BACP tab, this is where you're going to see what succeeded or failed. You see here for business consultations, 4 processed and 4 succeeded. For new business outreach and attraction, 7 processed and 7 were rejected. So what this rejected means, and also we updated the terminology on the interface, so it no longer says rejected, it actually says duplicate. So what rejected / duplicate means, it just means it's duplicate data. So let's say you upload a file, has the exact same information, and you upload it again, is this exact same information, same date, same business name. We don't want to keep that in the system because it's making it seem like you're doing more work than you actually are. It's just duplicate information. So we basically just ignore it as a duplicate. And then again, what the failed means is just means that something in your file something in your row needs to be fixed. And then you can actually click on this icon right here next to your failed. I hope you can see my hover. And what this will do, it will pop up where you can see all your failed and see how you can fix it. You see here that in contact name, this is highlighted in red. That means that I'm missing this field. So here, red highlights means it's a missing required field, and blue highlight means it's an incorrect field value. What incorrect field value means? Can that person go on mute, please? Can you mute that person?
Those are like my 3, right? Yeah, I started. Sauce and bread, bread is the back, which is up by C. They are the more breakfast lunch again, so they're over.
Who's ever unmuted, would you please mute yourself?
Regina McRae. I just muted you.
That's good to know there's another.
But that's not the person that's doing that. Who else is doing that? I will call you out if you unmute yourself. I appreciate it. Okay. As I was saying, so incorrect field value. What incorrect field value means is that it's a drop down value, right? The template already provides you a drop down value, but for whatever reason, you decide to override those options and put in whatever you want to put in. That's going to cause an error in the system, and that's going to fill your row. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Hopefully Nick will respond to them, and I'll look at them after the training while we do our open discussion. So you see here that where it says needs, I put a zip code. Needs is actually has its own drop down options, so I need to choose from. Also, this anything I put here is not going to work. And you see also needs is required. So the second and third rows are in red because I'm missing needs. But this one's in blue because I put the wrong information. It has to be the drop down option. It has to be one of the drop down options. And you'll notice here that in the bottom where it says current item process comment, we provide you like a comment where it needs to be fixed. So it says here invalid referral need with 60461. So basically we try our best to inform you what you did incorrectly and how you can fix it. And as soon as you fix it, you just click submit, and then you don't have to make a new upload, just click submit, and then ECM will just refresh those rows that you fixed, and then it will be succeeded and into the system. And you see here with needs, these are my needs options. And notice that 60461 is not a needs option. And then here, this is where you can download your templates. And the cool thing about downloading your templates within ECM is that once you download it, it's already going to be in the proper naming convention. It's going to be in like XXX underscore business state specialist underscore XX underscore XX underscore XXXX. What all those X's means is what you're supposed to put in there. So the first initial XXX is your org code. Your org code is how you log into the system. It's like, for example, myself, I am AS1, so I log in AS1 underscore I as Enrique. So for one of you, you could be EDC underscore A. I like the last name, but A, your last name. If you don't know your org code, again, it's how you log in. So it's just the first three initials, but also in the bottom of this guide, we provide you all the org codes for each agency. So again, when you download this, it's going to be in a right name convention. Keep that name convention, just change the parts that you see XXX in. And the last part that XXX is the dates. So that's month underscore day underscore year. And then, as I mentioned before, on the bottom of the BACP template tab, this is where you're going to be able to download your guidance document. We're going to have an updated guidance document in the system by end of day or early tomorrow morning. So if you have the old one, feel free to keep it. Just know that it's going to be updated. And in here, this is where you upload your proof of deliverables. This is going to be on the, what tab is this? The document tab of the data import page. Proof of deliverables, this means that, for example, if you had an agency event or a marketing event, you're just letting us know that you had it with the template and like who attended and blah, blah, blah. But if you want to actually have pictures or anything else, you can come here and go to click agency event. And then here you put uploaded date from. This is the date of your event, and you can search and try to find that event that you already uploaded for. And then once you find it, you can upload pictures for that agency event. And that's the same thing for success stories, commercial listing, and new business average and attraction. So this is a lot, but it's really straightforward once you get the hang of it. But it's just, I know it's just like a lot of different like pages to navigate through. But hopefully with this guide, you're able to easily adjust. So as I said, so for example, for this commercial listing, you just click add proof of deliverables and be upload. And here you can just upload like documents, pictures, like anything related to your deliverable. And you see here, this is how you download or upload, and this is how you delete and upload. And this is just me going through the guide that you're gonna have. And I'm gonna go into the system and go through all this, but like the whole training is honestly in this guide. These are your success stories. Add documents for success stories. And then running reports. I will share the run reports in the system. And then, as I mentioned, if you don't know your org code, you can just scroll down to appendix. And these are all the MBDC org codes. So just find your agency. And then for the CBC, just keep scrolling, your appendix B. And then these are our CBC's org codes. I think the bottom of this is just, oh yeah, these are the industry categories. The reason why we have this is because the industries that we have in the system are a bit broad. So we just have an explanation of basically the industries and like where a business could possibly be. Blue is what's in the system, and then what's white is like what kind of covers it. Like administrative support and waste management, where are some examples of that? Waste collection, treatment, disposal, redemption, and other waste management services. Educational services are pretty much self-explanatory, so that you just have that. What else? Finances and insurance is very broad, so we just provide a list of different options, or what's a better word? Different type of subcategories for the main category, which is finance and insurance. Just in case you don't know where a business lies category-wise. And that's the entire training. Have a good day. Just kidding. So I will actually go into the system now and show you. I'm just going to show you this PDF, but it's going to be in the system. The reason I'm doing this is to prolong the training, and also honestly just show you how easy it is to just be in the system. So the first part of that guide is manual entry. As I mentioned, not a lot of people do manual entry for whatever reason, but it is pretty simple. All you have to do is search for your business. I'm gonna type in test. So I want to look for a real business. Actually, I'm gonna go here. So I'm gonna go to my business list on the right side. What this shows, it just shows you all your businesses that you already work with. So I have all these, and I'm gonna choose business 1. Actually, let me choose business 2. This is gonna show you something. And in business 2, here, these are the different locations I'm working with. And I'm gonna go to engagement. You notice here that I can't create an engagement. So this is a common issue that you may come across. And you're just like, why can I create an engagement? What's going on? What's going on? All you have to do is just go back to business entities, and it's probably like a missing field here. I'm gonna click edit business, and voila, industry is required and industry is missing. So I'm just gonna put utilities. I'm gonna put save. I'm gonna go to engagement log. And I can create an engagement. Beautiful. If I want to add a new location, what I will do is click this edit pencil, and then I will click add location. Why this is so important is because I mentioned before, your business could be Walgreens. There are a million Walgreens in Chicago. I'm actually exaggerating, but you get the point. So if you are working at Walgreens, we don't want you to create another business called Walgreens. Just use what we already have in the system, but just find your location. And if you can't find the location you're working with, just add the new location. Site name, River North, and address. And you'll notice here that we geocode it. So you just find what you're looking for and then click save. Okay. And then if you want to add contacts, so notice what I just did. I clicked on this icon right here. It's called show contacts. So this is the contact that you have in River North for Walgreens. Just click add, and then you just put their first name. Their title. or job title. Manager. And primary contact. And you can add this information, but notice the only thing that's required is first name. If you have phone number, email, all of that, that's good to have. But if you don't have any of that, just put first name. So now I'm gonna go to engagement. And I'm gonna click add. And then while I'm here, notice I'm gonna click category. So category, so when you come here, so based off the contract list that BACP gave us, it's already set up for you. So for like example, let's say I am EDC. I'm sorry if you use that example. If EDC has 2 contracts, which is place-based journalist and capital specialist, that's all they'll see. If another agency has 1 contract, which is place-based journalist, that's all they'll see. If another agency has innovation centers, that's all they will see. So this contract list is dynamic based off your agency. So like this could be a list of 5, a list of 1. It's just how many contracts does your agency have. So you select which one you actually want to make this engagement for. Is it for the place-based journalist or is it for capital specialists? And then here you can select the purpose. Is this a business consultation or just a new business outreach and attraction? And then your method, was it a phone call, in person, or email? What type of engagement was it? Let's say it was a phone call. The date of the engagement is going to default to today's date. Of course, this happened prior to change that date. Let's say it happened last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago. And then you choose the location. This is for River North. And then you can put the contact you talked to. If you didn't talk to James, you don't have to add James. Or if you talk to someone else, you can add them here. Or if you don't have a contact, you can just leave it alone. So yeah, again, very straightforward. And then here, this is where you can put the business needs. Notice that some of these are duplicative. We need to resolve that. It'll be resolved by the end of the week. Like access capital, it just should be 1. But all you have to do, excuse me, is choose the business need. So let's say access to capital. And then based off that needs, a list of solutions are going to generate. So if they need access to capital, so some solutions will be, I referred them to City of Chicago Department. I referred them to BACP. And then the summary, blah, blah. So here, you just put your summary of your engagement, any next steps that you may have or may not have, and then that's it. And then you would just click save. Is there any follow-up needed? Basically, are you gonna call them again or reach out to them again? Yes or no? No. And then here is your engagement. And if you want to have another engagement, just click add and just complete that process all over again. Let's say now you have an engagement for a different address. You just select the address here, and then you just go through the exact same process. And also, let's say you want, for example, please go on mute. I will expose you. Please go on mute. Let's say you have a different category. Let's say I chose place-based journalist. I'll just go through the same process all over again. Let's see who is not on mute. They went on mute. No, I'm still here though.
It's whoever has that telephone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 773-474-4019. I'm muting you. If you are not on mute, I will expose you. Please stay on mute. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program. So as I was saying, I don't remember what I was saying, but I think I was saying here, basically go through the same process for different engagement, different business. It's very straightforward. If this agency so 2 things, let me slow down. If this was a agency that was in the TIP district, please find that TIP district from this list. It's quite extensive. And also, if this was a TIP marketing engagement, please just select this. In the future, these two fields are going to be required because the city really wants to collect data on TIP districts. For the time being, it's not, but still answer these questions because they will be required anyway in the future. But it's good data to have just to know. The reason why it's good data to have is because we need to know which TIP areas are generating the most business and the most engagements, and how to generate more funds to different TIP areas. I close this. Okay, cool. And then referrals here, very, very basic. We have a referral list already. These just shows you some different agencies that we have in the system. If you don't find who you're referring this business to, you can just click on this add and then just add the new person, blah, 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 and then for which contract. And then, yeah, and then that's your referral. So yeah, very straight to the point. And then financial resources. I believe this tab is only for capital specialist contracts. What you do here is just click add, and then you just go through the process of how you're providing the financial resources, what it is. And yeah, just basically answer these questions. Yeah, I'm not going through all this because this is very specific for the capital specialist. If you are a capital specialist, please be sure to complete this because this is what your contracts are based off. So before I move on, not any questions yet, but Paul or Sandra, you want to speak about anything?
No, not at this point. When we do come to the section of the reporting template, I'll just chime in as I share that those templates with the group, and just kind of give a quick overview of what the various reporting tabs looks like.
Okay,
so that's down the line. Well, actually, Afanya, I will raise a question now for anyone that may have thought about this. You've mentioned engagements, and you've displayed consultation and how to enter consultations as well as referrals. Are there any other categories of plan output that would constitute engagements, such as marketing or any of the other plan outputs that are part of the reporting template? In other words, just exactly what is an engagement?
So marketing and agency events are in ECM are classified basically as the same thing. So if you want to have a marketing, you will come to event page and add your event that you had or marketing engagement that you had. An engagement is basically it's an interaction with a business one-on-one. So I met with Aldi's in Cermak, and we had a phone call, and I talked to them about how we could increase profits. Or I met with a startup in person, and we talked about how they can get funding from the city. Like, that's an engagement. Business engagement is a general form, and then new business outreach and attraction, I believe that's for new businesses specifically. And then business advisory, which you didn't see because I think only industry specialist has that type of engagement, and I don't have that for this contract. That's a different type of engagement. But that will all appear here, and then referrals will appear here, and then marketing and agency events will be done here on this page, the event page. Did that answer your question, Paul?
It's excellent, excellent. Yes, for any of those that are listening that may have entertained the same question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do want to say something. So for CVCs, you're not yet required to upload your deliverables here. That's forthcoming. We're still working on that. So the only reason why we added CVCs is because all our CVCs are NBDCs, so this is helpful for you to know. But yes, that's forthcoming.
Sounds good, sounds good. And I just spoke on the event page. I'm about to go on that now. Here, pretty straightforward. You would add your event or marketing event, the name of it, still social media engagement, purpose, social media marketing, capacity, 100, 1,000. It's social media, so you can't really justify a number. This could be online. An event link here, you just put the URL to your social media engagement. And then here, event description. If you have a description, uploaded pics from that. Save. And then again, it's going to pop up. If you have multiple contracts, you could have NBDC or CBC as one agency. So you have this pop up, and in the category, this is where you put it. This is for place-based journalists or capital specialists. Click save. Now, if this was like a real event and not like a social media engagement, it would be the same process. It would just be make something up, event 2. And then let's say this was a conference, and the conference was last month, and capacity, this is quantifiable. How many people attended your event? Let's say about 150. And similar to the business engagement, did you attract any TIF businesses? Need to fix the drop down, but you put the TIF marketing here, and then this was external or internal. What this means is that, did you host it or did someone else host it? This was internal, you put, actually, no, that's not what it means. External or internal means was it at your actual facility? And external means, internal means your facility, and external means at a different location. So if it was external, which most of it probably would be external, for example, like a conference wouldn't be at your facility. Well, most likely wouldn't be at your facility, and you just put the address of that conference. And again, Google Maps will help you geocode it. Please don't try to like put in like an address that Google can't find, because what that does is that we lose zip code and county because we don't classify it as a real address. So just make sure that it's geocoded so we can actually report on it. Again, same process here. Was it for which contracts? And then here, event list. Here you can list who attended. Say it was myself. And what's really cool about this, I'll add like 2 more people so you can see a difference. What's cool about this is that you notice here you have 3 invites and with your attendees. So all I have to do is just go to roster and then select check-in. And then you can just click all of them. And you see here that out of your 3 invites, all of them attended, and you have 100% participation rate. What I think BACP is going to start using this for their own events. So they're going to check in who attends their events, and then they'll see who didn't. And then once they're done, you can actually print out the sign-in sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's pretty straightforward. Yes, I think it's very straightforward. It's just about using it and getting used to it, honestly. That might take a little learning curve, but Yeah, this is also described in the PDF training guide in case you are confused on how to use this. And now the data import, which most of you will be using or have been using. Actually, I was gonna go on our testing site for this. Let's do that. BAC underscore user. Okay, yeah. So this is our production site, which is what our real sites, which you currently are using. I just switched over to our testing site. I'm gonna upload some data into the system. So I'm gonna go to business import. And notice here it's called business import, but in production it's called data import. So it's really data import. Business template. And then notice here, this is where you're gonna find all your templates. So for example, if you have the business day specialist contracts, this is where you're gonna find it and then download the template. If you have the capital specialist, same thing. Place-based journalist, same thing. Please don't download a template of a contract that you don't have, because that's, I mean, you can if you want to, no one's gonna stop you, but if you put in data in the wrong template, you're not gonna actually count that for your contract that you're getting paid for. You're gonna be kind of wasting your time. So make sure you're downloading the contract, the template you actually have a contract for. Because you're not gonna have all of these. You're gonna have like 1 or 2, max like 3. Okay. I'm gonna download this. Oh, I forgot how cool this was. Okay, actually, remember when I said that when you download this, it's gonna be XXX? It's not. It's actually going to be your org code underscore the template name underscore today's date. So you don't have to even update the org code. It's gonna do it for you. So notice here that my org code for this testing site is BAC. So it's downloaded as BAC underscore place-based journalist underscore today's date. So very easy and straightforward. One second, enable editing. And then I'm gonna go to introduction. So Paul, you say you want to speak on this a little bit?
Okay, sure. For 99% of your program types or program categories, your reporting template is going to look pretty much the same, with the exception of 1 or 2. But as this first tab indicates, it's the introduction tab, which gives you a breakdown. At the top, it tells you obviously what your program type is, place-based generalist template. And you should always be using the latest version, and the latest version will always be in the ECM system. This first block here just indicates the program category. The second paragraph or section gives you clear instructions on how to utilize this reporting template. This third tab is the business list tab. And as it instructs you to complete a role per unique business that benefited and or participated in a program activity. The businesses listed will automatically be added to the drop-down list within the tabs where business legal name is. So this is a wonderful feature that really eliminates a lot of keystrokes for the user. But the only way that's going to work or self-populate is if you insert the businesses in this tab, the business list tab. The next tab is the business consultation tab, and it instructs you to complete a role per unique eligible business consultation program activity. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. Cells with drop-downs will not allow manual import or pasting of copied data. The business legal name drop-down will be empty until the business is listed in the business list tab. Again, it does much of the work for you after you've initially put those businesses in the business list. The business address cell would auto-populate after selecting a business in the business legal name cell. The interest in TIF district dropdown refers to whether or not the business owner has expressed an interest in the business TIF district. And as Afania mentioned, this will be forthcoming, a required field for you to enter. So I think it's a good practice to start soliciting that information now and inserting that information now. The next block here is the new business outreach and attraction. And you're instructed to complete a row per unique eligible new business outreach and attraction program activity. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. Cells with drop-downs will not allow manual import or pasting of copied data. The business legal name drop-down will be empty until a business is listed in the business list tab. The business address cell would auto-populate after selecting the business in the business legal name cell. The next block of instruction refers to the referral tab. And you're instructed to complete a row per unique legal or eligible collaboration effort, both NBDC and non-NBDC program activities. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. Again, cells with drop-downs will not allow manual input or pasting of copied data. The business legal name drop-down will be empty until a business is listed in the business list tab. The business address cell would auto-populate after selecting a business in the business legal name cell. The agency events tab. You're instructed to complete a row per unique eligible collaboration effort, both NBDC and non-NBDC program activity. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. Cells with drop-downs will not allow manual input or pasting of copied data. The business legal name drop-downs will be empty until a business is listed in the business list tab. The business address cell would auto-populate after selecting a business in the business legal name cell. The agency events, that's to be consists of ask you to complete a row for every unique agency event for the program for your work plan. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. The agency event listed will automatically be added into the drop-down list within the tabs where agency event name is. And the next instruction is that of the event attendee list. You're asked to complete a row for every attendee of events listed in agency events. The agency event name drop-down will be empty until an event is listed in the agency events tab. The marketing tab, you're asked to complete a row per unique marketing effort for the program activities per your work plan. Listed program activities will be counted towards the plan output per your work plan. Activity name should match the activity name in the program activities tab. The related to TIF programming dropdown refers to whether or not the marketing effort was for or encompasses a TIF district. The last instruction is a reminder notation. You're asked not to forget to upload supporting documents, files, and images into ECM as proof of your program activities, i.e. new success stories. Success stories are a required deliverable for your work plan. However, it is not inputted in this commercial listing. Commercial listing is a required deliverable for your work plan. However, it is not inputted in this BACP events. BACP events are required BACP NBDC related events, which requires attendance by a representative from your organization. And as mentioned earlier, 99% of our reporting templates that align with the program category type that your contract calls for have all of these tabs that you will be reporting on, with the exception of one contract type. And Afani, I think maybe we can jump to that one now, which is it the industry or innovation that has the business advocacy?
This is place-based generalist, and I'm just going to show you how this works in regards to the business list. So for example, I put business one here. Business one. Address.
Perfect.
Business. Address. Unit, blah, blah, blah. City, Chicago, of course. State, Illinois. Zip code, 60608. Industry. This should be required too, honestly, business industry too. So I am going to just do this, scroll down. So, you see I have businesses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is just an example. Obviously, when you do it, it's gonna have real businesses here, real addresses, all that. So now when I go to business consultation, I'm gonna come here and just put the date of my consultation. Oh, let's say it was 2/2/23. And now I have a drop down. And this drop down are the businesses I just put in. And then address should have populated. I don't know why it didn't populate. And to review this template again. So we're gonna so this is a template from last year. We're gonna update the template. What I noticed is that even in instructions, the whole thing doesn't show. So I need to make this quite larger. So we're gonna make updates to this. If there's any other glitches, we're gonna resolve it. So here you put the find the business address. It's supposed to populate by itself. I'll look into why it's not right now. Also, I downloaded this from my training site, so maybe that's why. This isn't from the real production site. So needs, solutions, and the solutions similar to how it was in manual entry. The solutions are based off the needs I selected. So notice here that these are the solutions for business exit strategy. But now if I select access to capital, I have different solutions. Right? And then outcome details. And then interested in TIF. This is similar, the same drop down list, and you just select it. Contact name. And all of that. And then same thing here. I'm kind of going fast because we're at the end, so I don't have time for you guys to ask any questions. Blah, 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 referrals. So notice that all we're going through is basically what we did in the manual entry, but now it's a little quicker because you can just have an Excel file and just put all that information into this file and then just upload it in the system. So I'm gonna upload this into the system, and this will probably fail because if you notice, I'm missing a bunch of required fields. maybe
If I may, a point of note, you noticed the font color in some of the columns. The red font color indicates that those are mandatory fields that must be completed versus the black font in some of the other columns. If you have that information, great, please provide it. But unlike the font in red, those are not mandatory fields, those columns in black. But of course, once again, the font in red, that is mandatory. Those are mandatory fields that must have data. Thanks, Afania.
Sounds good. So now if I go to agency events, similar to how I did so let's say I had an event called Event 1. Hopefully this works. Event 2, and then event type. And then number of businesses that participated, let's say it was 20 businesses, and this was like 2. Total number of event attendees, let's say it was 50, and then this was like 10 people. And the outcomes, I want to go to this. So notice when I go to the agency event list, I have this drop down that shows you the event that you just put in, which what put in was Event 1 or Event 2. All right. And put the date 2, 2, and 3. Second event was 2, 4, 23. Now I come here. Event 1, Event 2. And then you just put the name. Like James attended. So just make this all Event 1. Dan, Event 1. Jake. So this is how you just put your attendee list of who attended your event. And then event date is gonna populate based off the event date you put here. This one isn't doing it, probably because I downloaded this from the training site, so I need to look at that. But from the actual production site, it should just populate. You can't even edit this field because it's populate. And then marketing, straightforward. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna save this in my computer. So my downloads. Now I'm gonna come back to ECM. I'm gonna go to File, Upload. I'm gonna click Upload. File type, Business BACP. Test upload. But for you, it might be like Q1 or January, whatever, but any description that you have. Go to your file directory, find the file, and then open it. And here, similar to what I showed you, well, exactly to what I showed you in the PDF, is gonna go through a process flow. First part is uploaded, completed. And now what we're doing is we're checking the structure of your file and your file name. If it fails, it's gonna be red here. If it passes, it's gonna go be green. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes. While that's being done, I'm gonna go to my document tab and show you how to upload your, I forgot what it was called, proof of deliverables. So for like marketing agency events, I will find that agency 1 or event 1. I will search that here. It's not probably going to be there yet because it's not uploaded yet, but this is how it will work. Just click search, or the event type. And then you see this is refreshing because ECM is going through every data point to just upload it. So since my file hasn't converted yet, that event 1 will be in the system yet. So I'm going to just go to a random date, and hopefully we have some events that I can look at. Event type required. 1 second. Search. Okay, cool, perfect. I'm just gonna select the first one. Let's say this is your event. You had a gala networking event at 2/15/2020. Just click upload, and here document type. Is it a picture, sign-in sheet? What is this? Let's say it's a picture, and then you click save. And then you'll be directed to your file directory, and then this is where you upload your pictures for your gala event. So for example, if you have some engagements and BACP ever reached out to you and was just like, is there any evidence of this engagement? You can either upload your sign-in sheet, upload pictures, upload your, what do you call it, pamphlet, or anything else to prove that you actually had that event. So pretty straightforward. So while that's being uploaded, taking some time. Again, this is the testing site, so it's quite unpredictable. Hopefully it goes through. If not, testing site. While we wait for that, are there any questions? And if, oh, actually, let me not do it that way. Let me go to the chat, because there's a lot of people in here. I don't want everyone talking at once. Man. The naming convention case says, is the naming convention case sensitive? It is not. Can I hear you with the background noise? I agree, have to go on mute. We are receiving a copy of the slides, correct? Copy of the slides, sure. The slides aren't that relevant. But we'll give you a copy of we're going to provide you a video of this training. And then also, of course, you're going to have the training guide. Should we have already received login password credentials? Good question. So for the new agencies, you will receive your login credentials either by the end of today or early tomorrow morning. There's just been a lot transitioning everyone in. So for the new agencies, you will get an email from us, from the ECM support email, either by end of day today or early tomorrow morning with your email, with your ECM credentials. Will NA work if we do not have the info for the field? So for a required field, will NA work? NA will only work if it's not a drop-down option. So for example, remember I spoke on drop-downs. So if it's a drop-down option, you have to choose from that drop-down list, right? If it's a date, that's not gonna work either, because dates are very like standardized. But NA will work for open field. That's not a drop-down option. If you have more than one person doing reporting, if each person does manual entry, will a cumulative report be generated? Yes. Basically, if you're part of the same agency, all your data will be the same. You can have 10 users, but as long as you are logging in under that agency or org code with different user IDs, it doesn't matter. When you want to report, you'll see all the data that everyone uploaded, and we won't even split it off by who uploaded what. It'll just be split off by agency. So yeah, you would have 10 people in the system at one time, and it won't affect anything. Is there a marketing guideline that we should be following in promoting events? That's a programmatic question. I would reach out to Paul or Sandra. We can't really answer that. Is it possible to provide an example of saying aspiring entrepreneurs and not just established small businesses? Is it possible to provide an example of saying, I don't understand this question, but it does sound programmatic.
Just to elaborate on that, my name's Jeremy here, but in the event that it's not a business legal name, that they're pretty much, you have a consultation, but they're an aspiring entrepreneur, not an established business with a legal entity yet.
So you should enter the business name. If it's not legal, I know. But DBA, you can put aspiring. So for example, let me share my screen. And unfortunately, it's not uploading. I don't know why, but again, this is the training site, so that's pretty unreliable. But in regards to your question, business name, just if they have a business name, just put that here. I mean, they need a business name, even though it's legal or not, they need a business name. And then legal entity name, aspiring entrepreneur or not yet established, anything. And when it is established, you can then come here and update it and just copy and paste that business name into that as well. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, back to the questions.
And if I may, I didn't catch the previous question that you suggested may have been a programmatic question, Afanya.
Yeah, Margaret asks, is there a marketing guideline that they should be following in regards to when they want to promote events?
There isn't a guideline per se, but let me glean what I can from the language that's used within the work plan template and get that to you. And always, whenever there's a question regarding a more definitive explanation of what some of the reporting requirements are, within your work plan in column C1, you'll find a narrative, a little narrative of what the work plan or the work plan activity comprises. I would always suggest that you use that as your North Star. So from a programmatic standpoint, typically the marketing requirement would entail that you utilize whatever platform you use, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, hard copy literature, emails, whatever methodology you use to market your suite of services to your constituents. Explaining to them, first of all, of your presence and the suite of services that you offer, your relationship with BACP. Those are the essential requirements, if you will, for any marketing campaigns that you engage in. I hope that kind of answers your question from the programmatic side. Okay, you can continue, Afanya.
Sounds good. So Marcy asks, if we used to upload templates, should we start a new template after we upload each batch of entries? That's a great question. So the answer is yes, but it's twofold. So use a new template, but copy and paste or have somewhere you have your business list. So for example, remember I showed you how to use the business list tab. Let me go back, let me share my screen again, if I even have it up. So this is just a pro tip. What I would do is I would just copy this entire tab and keep it somewhere in your directory and just keep using it, keep adding on to it, keep adding on to it, keep adding on to it. That's when we have an engagement. You would just then copy and paste into that new template just on this tab. And then when you actually want to make an engagement, you can just use the drop down to find that business rather than always going on here and typing that business name again over and over again. So to answer that, new template, but just copy and paste your business list. Does that make sense to everyone? If it doesn't, please let me know so I can re-explain it.
I think so.
Okay, all right, perfect. Are social media postings counted as events? or was that a basic event for the events? So social media posting counts as marketing events. So in ECM, we pretty much put them together. We are in the future, we're going to separate them, but right now, social media and real events are classified as the same. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, in ECM, no in real life, but eventually we will split them up so it'll be easier to capture which one is which. On the template, can we copy and paste data into the columns of the template where applicable for our own internal spreadsheet cells? Yes, you can. Have another meeting, gotta go. Let me read that out loud. So Margaret asked another programmatic question. She said that, is it the expectation of MBDCs to attend all BACP events or CBC or vice versa?
Yes, thank you for the question. Our both MBDC as well as CBC partners are required to attend the MBDC triannual BACP events. Yes, have at least, it's required that you have at least one person from your organization attend our BACP events, as well as a person from your organization attending at least one of our on the road expo events, which coincidentally enough, our next on the road expo event takes place this Saturday, March 11th at Kennedy King College. It's from 9 until 12.
I think it's from 8 to 12.
8, I'm sorry, thank you, 8 to 12. All right, hope that answers your question.
It does, Paul. Just as a follow-up, is there a listing of where we can find these events?
As they're solidified, our outreach and education unit pushes that information out, or will push that information out once that information or those events are solidified by our outreach and education unit. So we always give you, ample advance notice.
So sorry, one last follow-up. So the on the road events and the other BACP hosted events were expected to be in attendance.
That's correct. At least one of our on the road expo events, we ask that a person from your organization attends, and our triannual BACP events, those are manual or requirements.
Can I ask one follow-up question to this?
Sure, you can.
Approximately how many of the events are hosted like this each year?
Typically, we would have 3 Shy Biz chats. And in terms of the on the road expo, I think it amounts to about 3 on average throughout the course of the year.
Thank you. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, it's
Thank you.
Andrew. Sorry to break in, but I just want to clarify. So for the event that's happening Saturday, are we all required to send at least one person? And if we are, will we all have tables to set up, or are we just to attend?
Well, for this upcoming event, because it's so late in the advent, so close to the advent of the event, I'd have to check with our outreach unit to see exactly where they are in terms of numbers and what they're allowing at this point.
Excuse me, Paul, may I interject?
Yes.
The answer to that is that to be an exhibitor, those slots are filled, but he's still welcome to register to go.
So is it mandatory for each of us to attend Saturday? I guess that's my question.
You don't have to attend this Saturday, but they also have a couple of more coming up, and they're gonna let us
Sure.
know, and then we'll push it out to the agencies.
Sure,
Okay.
no, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify for this Saturday. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marshall.
Okay. We have 6 minutes left, so I'll quickly go through these. Pete asked that he's been inputting data into ECM. Does he have to redo any data, any reports? You don't have to redo anything. Anything you uploaded last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, is still in the system. So just keep uploading deliverables as you see fit. Tanya, when there are numerous contacts from an event, can the invitee list be an export from Excel spreadsheet? That's a good idea. Not yet. I would suggest that you use our template, like the place-based underscore date template. But from like the event page in ECM, you have to enter that manually, like one by one. But it would be a good idea to just upload like who attended and have like a structure for it. So that could be an enhancement in the future. How do you access ECM site? Link provided the link. You're gonna have to access stuff. Whenever we get new templates, we should have updated templates by tomorrow. They should all be fine now, but I just want to review each one and then upload them. So the year will say 2023. So yeah, by tomorrow. For those of us that are SBDC orgs, is there a way to receive training on how to synchronize the data we don't have to do double entry? I don't know what that means. Jamie, are you still here?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. Yeah, so those, I mean, so we have the federal SBDC contract, and we already using Neosera to upload a lot of the data that might be required for this particular grant. So I'm assuming that other SBDC organizations already had this grant in the past. I don't know if you had trainings in which we could definitely, if they have best practices on the best synchronized data, so we don't have to do double entries.
Yeah, that sounds like it's outside of ECM. So you probably might just need to do some copy and pasting. And hopefully SBDC does similar things that we do, which is like the Excel file format. So that'll be just easy to copy and paste. But you can speak with your program manager, Paul or Sandra, and then they can speak to us, and then we can go about a way of making that a little bit more efficient for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Will there be a specific place for MDC? And I think that's it. So that covers the hour and a half of training. Thank you all for attending. I hope this was informative. As I mentioned, we'll provide you all the information that you need, your templates, the PDF, the recording, everything that you need will be provided to you fairly shortly. For people who don't have ECM access yet, you will get ECM access either by end of day today or by tomorrow morning. So again, thank you all for attending. My name is Afani Azarike. I will be at the event on Saturday, so I would hopefully some of you guys will be there. I would love to meet you guys in person. And thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you,
you.
ECM team. Truly
All right,
appreciate
take
it.
care.
And
Have
thank
a great
you,
day,
NBDC and CBC partners.
Have a good day, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.